I just want more, but I also understand why there shouldn't be any more. Hello, my lovely beans, and welcome back to another video and another vlog every day in April video. Today we are talking about the series finale of Big Little Lies. And before I get into spoiler territory, if you haven't watched the show, I want a second of your time to try and convince you to watch this show. Big Little Lies, in case you did not know, is an HBO limited series. It has 7 episodes. It's based on a book. It's got seriously the most all-star cast. It's got Reese Witherspoon, Laura Dern, Shailene Woodley, Nicole Kidman, Adam Scott, and Alexander Skarsgård, who it literally took me almost the entire season to realize, oh, that's Eric from True Blood. It's got Zoe Kravitz. It's jam-packed with people that are really good at what they do. The show basically follows the 5 women, though it does kind of more deeply go into specifically Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, and Shailene Woodley's characters, but it pretty much follows their lives and their families' lives leading up to a school charity event where a murder happens. And the whole mystery that is driving the series is that you don't know who did the murdering at the party, but you also don't know who got killed. But what's also cool about the show is while that mystery is like fueling the story, that's the whole reason why it's being told, the story of the show is these women's lives and what's going on with them, and it delves into extraordinarily important topics. I had no idea what this show or book or anything was about before I started it. I just knew that I loved those actors, and so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had no idea that it was going to be so serious and heartbreaking and at times hard to watch, but also so wonderful and like brilliant. I personally felt like this show from beginning to end was a masterpiece. I cannot recommend it enough. Like on the surface, it may seem superficial and it is like anything but that. So if you're interested in watching it, that's my pitch to you. Go and enjoy it. Let me know how you feel about it. Come back here when you're done. But now I'm gonna go into spoiler land, so I'll see you later. So let's talk about the finale because it shocked me. Which is funny because like the main person for a while that I really was like, oh, that person's gotta get killed is Perry. And while I was right about like who got killed, I had no idea or foresight at all into that, like that was gonna be the guy that raped Jane. Like I seriously did not suspect that at all. I might have thought about it during the first episode when they were introducing everything because I like to play detective, but I certainly did not think like twice about it afterwards. We'll go back. Let's go back. Starting from the beginning of the episode, I thought it was just wonderfully structured. The progression of tension throughout this episode was so, I was sitting in my bed and I was like so nervous the whole time. The idea of seeing Celeste just like so beaten, literally can't get off the floor, and then her going to the therapist and like still being so upset and she's still so in love with this man, but the moment that the children are brought up is when she's like, no, he would never hurt him, he would never hurt them, and watching her go through the realization that like this does have consequences for her kids was so sad, but also like such a go mom moment, because the moment that she's made aware that Max is doing it, she could have been in denial, she could have been like, no, that's not him, but she knew it and she did something about it, and I'm so proud of that character for doing that. And I just can't say enough good things about Nicole Kidman's performance in the role of Celeste. Like, I've seen Nicole Kidman in things before, but I don't think I've ever seen her in this serious of a role because it was a very serious role. And so while I've always thought of Nicole Kidman as an amazing actress, it's like almost like this was just another next level performance for both her and Alexander Skarsgård, because that is not an easy role to play. Those scenes were brutal to watch, and so that means that they were almost certainly like 5 times as brutal to film. I mean, taking like the last big scene out of it, the scene when he comes down dressed as Elvis, she's already an Audrey, and he passes her the phone. Oh, that scene, I wanted to rip my hair out because I was so stressed about it. Not only that, but their chemistry with one another, the realistic part about this relationship was showing how passionately in love with one another they were, which is so often why you hear in these marriages that like the woman or the man have such trouble leaving because they have this emotional attachment to the other person. They do genuinely love them, but you know, you when it's violent, you gotta get out. And the way that they were able able to play the genuine passion, but then also the brutal, unwatchable violence was just mesmerizing and seamless. It really was. Obviously, Celeste's story is what I think makes this one of the most important shows that I've watched in a really long time, because it is like unforgiving in showing you what this could look like. And I think that it's really important to put stories out there like that. I didn't feel that it was romanticizing it in any sort of way. It was just like showing you, it felt very slice of life. And seeing Celeste in the car finally defending herself, and then with her group of friends being like, no, I'm not going with you, I'm not hiding this anymore. The moments that she has with Laura Dern are so wonderful. I mean, I think that story, again, from beginning to end, was just perfect. Though part of me is dying to know now what the dynamic between Celeste and Jane is gonna be. Like, I don't think it would change that much, but like, that means that their kids are related. It just adds a whole other layer. I get why it can't go on, but I would love for it to go on. And then diving into the Jane stuff, I only realized a week ago that this was gonna be the finale. I didn't realize it was only a 7-episode series, and when I found that out like the week before the finale, I was like, well, where's Jane's story going? Like, how are they gonna cap that off? And that's why it's so funny to me that I still didn't make the connection that it might be Perry. I actually thought that it might be Tom, is that his name, from the bar? I thought it might be him. Even though she's heard his voice a bunch of times, like, he could very easily be changing his voice, I feel like. But I love how they showed Jane as a mother in this situation, because so much of the show obviously was just showing how they are as mothers as well, and how they react to their children's situations. And like, seeing her, even in this last episode, just like having such a close-knit relationship as a single mother with her child, and being able to get her child to a comfortable point in which she knows that like he can trust her and she trusts him, is just such a wonderful thing. Especially between mother and son. I feel like on television we often see the mother and daughter like being closer, so seeing a mother-son being really, really close is nice. And Ziggy using the phrase that Amabella was gonna get killed dead, that was adorable. All of the kids on the show were adorable till the very last minute. I mean, nobody I think was as adorable as Madeline's youngest. She's so beautiful and so funny. And there's Madeline, who I am just obsessed with. I mean, like, I'm casually in love with Reese Witherspoon, so like, you know, it's just a casual thing. But I really love how Madeline was in this last episode. There were a lot of misdirects. Like, when I rewatched the episode, I was kind of confused as to why the director was so much in it. Like, I was like, why is he here? He ended up doing nothing. But obviously it was because it was a misdirect. When I was watching it, I was like, is he gonna kill her? But again, I just love how they treated Madeline this last episode, because I feel like in the beginning of the series, when they were like the first 3 episodes or so, they were really harping on how Madeline acts and that she's like kind of bitchy and that she can like be really controlling, and so they made you think that she was either gonna be the one that murdered or got murdered. And I just loved how in the end she was like the one that like ran off drunk because she was crying about something, but obviously she still plays a role in 100% being there for Celeste and beating down on Perry when the time came. Finally, like Renata, which I'm so happy about because I love Laura Dern. She also, along with Zoe, got the best of the fashion at that party. Like, they looked incredible. How do I get to attend one of these parties? Because like, I would be all in. And I liked that she apologizing and her progression felt really natural. It didn't feel like some showmanship thing, like because the important factor, right, was that all of these women come in to help one another at the end, and that felt really, really genuine, which is why I think it was so moving. I think it would have been really easy to like have that be over dramatic and unbelievable, but it was so believable because of the way that like Laura and Zoe were able to ground their characters as well. And when I say Zoe grounded people, I mean literally, because I fell on the ground when she started singing. If that was also really Adam Scott singing, man, he can sing. I was all in for this karaoke sesh. I definitely ended off the show though still Team Ed to the very end. I don't know what Zoe's character sees in Madeline's ex, but oh, I don't get it. I don't understand. The writing for this episode was just so clearly very meticulously done. They didn't like close everything perfectly with a bow, but you got to see everybody, and they didn't harp on things too much. They like did everything perfectly to either misdirect you or to build tension and still keep you aware of where everybody was. Like, obviously that final sequence that before you get to see how Perry was killed, but when you're building up to the reveal that, you know, Perry was the one who raped Jane, and he's trying to go and get Celeste, all of those moments building up to there of you first seeing Madeline go, and then seeing Jane go, and then seeing Laura Dern's character go, Renata go, and then seeing Nicole, it was just, and then seeing Zoe coming up, oh, it was just the cinematography of the show too, so like obviously meticulously done, and I appreciate that as a viewer because it just made watching this such a wonderful experience, and nothing gave more credit to all of that directing and cinematography and all of that jazz when you finally do see what happened and you see all of those shots of them all hitting Perry and him grabbing them, and just the beautiful way that they incorporated the music into that, like the music still going and going and going and going and intercutting with them going on the beach all with one another until finally Zoe's character comes and pushes him and the music stops. Oh, it was just so powerful. I have chills as I'm talking about it. This show could have very easily been about women that don't support one another and that are all against one another, which is kind of where you start off, but it ends with the exact opposite message that no matter what these women have been through, in that moment they are all with one another and they can find that common sense in each one of them. And I love those shots of them on the beach, and it made me so sad that it was over, because I would love to see how these women now interact with one another, knowing what they know and having been through that with each other, especially Madeline and Zoe. I really would love to know like how they are doing. I want to know. I loved it, from the writing to the directing to the acting to the fashion. It was just amazing. Those 5 actresses really nailed it. So did everybody else. I don't want to discount anybody else's performances because everyone else was phenomenal as well. There was not a single moment in the show where I was like, I don't believe that performance. No, you had the best of the best going on there, as well as with the kids. The kids were all amazing. I mean, like Celeste's twins, they were incredible. They were so good. I just loved this so much, and I want to talk about it with other people because nobody I know has watched it yet, and I just want to fangirl. If anybody from Big Little Lies ends up seeing this, thank you so much for making that. I can't express to you how much I enjoyed it and appreciated it, and I think it was just so important. It was so important. And that wraps up my spiel. That was probably way too long, but you know, that's who needs watch time analytics anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe. I'm making videos every single day this month. And again, leave me a comment letting me know how you felt about the series. I want to talk about it. I love you, lovely beans, and I will see you in my video tomorrow. Bye!